Man, I love this song.
Confession time. I never thought I would say this, but I can't get this dumb country song out of my head.
I'm a big country music fan, and damn it, y'all, I have found my new favorite track. The catchy country trap single, Old Town Road, by Atlanta rapper Lil Nas X has become a total sensation and a major source of controversy since it blew up on the internet a few months back.
It's got that twangy banjo and trap beats, and it's made by a guy who looks like me, but he's talking about horses and tractors and talking about horses and Gucci.
But it's catchy as hell. The song caught fire and started climbing up the Billboard Top 100 charts and the country Top 100 charts.
But then Billboard took it off the country chart, claiming it wasn't country enough.
A lot of people are calling bull. I'm one of them. Old Town Road has way more references to country living than most of the songs at the top of the country charts these days.
And then people started to ask if this was really about whether Lil Nas X is white enough to be on the country charts.
Billy Ray Cyrus, of all people, embraced the track by jumping on the remix.
Town, living like a rock star, spend a lot of money on my brand new guitar.
And now the song is #1 on the Top 100 charts.
I'm Elamin Abdul Mahmoud, social media editor at BuzzFeed News.
I'm Donovan Bennett, staff writer and host for Sportsnet.
I'm Sarah Bosveld, senior writer at Chatelaine. The song is forced a reckoning on what country music is and who gets to make it.
Okay, so before we get started, hello everyone, by the way, there has been a really interesting plot twist in the last 24 hours. So Old Town Road still is not on Billboard's Hot Country chart, but it is now on Billboard's Country Airplay chart, which is a measure of how much play the song is getting on country radio stations. So it's hit number 53, which is not nothing. So the point being, while Billboard itself still doesn't think the song is country enough, lots of radio stations, country radio stations, beg to differ. So let's just set the bar real high and settle this once and for all right now. And I only want one-word answers, okay?
Oh,
this is the
God.
challenge. Sarah, is Old Town Road a country song? One word.
I'll say yes.
Elamin.
I'll say country enough. Those are 2 words.
2 words.
Yeah.
Donovan.
Yes, it is.
Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wow. So let's, we have a first verse of the song that we can play, just to get everyone right back.
Everyone dancing.
Let's go ahead and play.
I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I got the horses in the bag, horse stock is attached.
Okay, so outside of the opening banjo bit, I don't actually hear a whole lot of country there.
Are you kidding me? The twang.
What are you hearing that I'm not hearing?
You know, he talks about like country living, and so many of the white guys on country radio that are huge stars really just like list off country-ish things, dirt roads, you know, like blue jeans, cut-off jeans,
Okay,
jeans,
but
jeans.
Elamin, that's all it takes? I mean, just talk about...
It's certainly not, that's not all it takes, but that gets you into the conversation, right? Like that makes you a part of the country conversation. And you know what? If those other country artists are doing it, then why is he not allowed to do it?
Donovan?
I mean, listen, when I heard Cowboy had his Gucci and Wranglers on my booty, I was sold. It's country enough for me,
Is that easy?
right there. But, I mean, what is the precedent? Because Taylor Swift has had songs, right? Never Ever Getting Back Together. That doesn't sound country to me.
It isn't.
But it was on the country charts because of her lineage and where she came from.
Okay, so here's Billboard's take on this. So their point of view, they say, while Old Town Road does indeed incorporate references to country and cowboy imagery, it does not embrace enough elements of today's country music to chart in its current version.
No.
So, okay, but their
What
point,
are those elements?
But their point being that you can't just sample banjos and sing
But so
about
many
cowboy boots and then
guys
call it
do.
country.
So many guys do, and they've made huge #1 hits out of it. You know.
Jason Aldean is the country music's artist of the decade, and he's got one of his biggest songs is like mostly rap with a little bit of country in the
Dirt
chorus.
Road.
Yeah,
Dirt Road Anthem? Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
we're pretending like that passes for country because he's talking about dirt roads, but this isn't country enough. It just seems to be kind of a double standard here.
I think we might actually have a clip of that to
Yes.
Dirt Road Anthem. Let's go ahead and play that.
Back in the day, Potts Farm was a place to go. Load the truck up, hit the dirt road. Jump the barbed wire, spread the word. Light the bonfire and call the girls.
Okay, so not your typical country song, but then what is it What's behind Billboard's decision then, do you think, to have pulled the song off the country chart?
White, powerful men in Nashville, the Nashville machine. I think there has to have been someone who was like, I'm not making money off of this. These big labels where we spend a lot of money and promotion to get an artist to a place where they are being played all over country radio. Country radio success is a really interesting one too, because it's like the one genre left that really has a powerful base in country. In radio airplay, actually, like terrestrial radio. Now it's all streaming. So it's just, I think it's like huge influencers who are powerful and realizing that they're not making money off of this. And so the way that Lil Nas X has come up, he was an internet phenom to begin with. He still is, but he's really come from the outside and made a huge success of this song. And so I think a lot of powerful people in Nashville are like, yeah, but where's my money? You know, like how come I'm not seeing the returns?
People out, right? Like,
absolutely.
I mean, right now, I think the country charts have two women in the top 20 or something, because those Nashville sort of really powerful influencers tend to keep women out of those charts and tend to keep, for the most part, men of color who do country out of those charts. It's like black people have been doing country music for a long time.
Basically, the origin of country music is like slave songs from
the
South. Yeah.
And yet you never hear it, on those sort of powerful country platforms.
So Donovan, then, in your mind, is it less about the music and more about the musician?
100%. 100%. And they didn't want to be made a mockery of. You have an artist whose stage name does not sound very country, Lil Nas X, from Atlanta. He's not from an area that consumes a lot of country music. He's not from Nashville. To me, they were trying to draw a line in the sand and say, this is what our culture, our music is about. You're not a part of it, so you're not a part of that party. But I think it was short-sighted because of what it could have done and would have done is opened up their genre to so many more people so that they weren't niche, because it is streaming and leading in Norway and all over the world, which country at this point needs.
But also, like, it's a reminder that this is American music, right? Like hip hop and rap, born of America, same with country music. Why not just embrace all of the sort of intricacies and crossovers that just naturally exist?
Okay, but just so I'm clear, what is it exactly that you would have Billboard do? Because I suspect from their point of view, if I just take their musical argument at face value, right? I mean, they just have to decide one way or the other. Is this more of a country song with hip hop elements, or is it more of a hip hop song with country elements?
Blow Up Billboard is really the answer to this, right? Because like Billboard is so stuck to these categories and genres.
But what do you mean? So just do away with all the genres, period?
I mean, why are we still having genre conversations right now, right? Like the most interesting music is music that borrows the most sort of meaningful elements from across genres, and that has been the case for some time. And so I don't know why we're so married to the idea of genre.
Well, economy-wise, because of money, I think. Like it's an industry, right? And it's an industry in distress because artists cannot make money off of streaming, right? They have to tour in order to get any money at all, essentially. So I think the labels too are really struggling with the new reality, and this is another challenge, another wrench in the machine.
But if you don't have a hot country chart, you're probably not going to have a whole lot of country songs on the top 100, period, right? Like don't the genre charts set space aside, like protected space aside for these genres so that they can all sort of flourish and have their own prominence?
You can have a country chart, a top country chart. You just can't have it both ways. And when Florida Georgia Line makes hip hop, can't even say it. When they make hip hop, you can't then say, oh, well, of course, we know them, we understand them. That's still country, but when Lil Nas X comes along, all of a sudden our country space is threatened. To me, because of the streaming, because of the fact that genres really don't matter, it makes more sense to bring in unique artists to the country charts, because that's going to bring unique listeners and unique dollars.
I guess the alternative would have been to allow Lil Nas X to climb multiple charts, to be on all of the charts that he feels
like he would have had to categorize
which Drake does. I mean, Drake makes pop and rap and hip hop and R&B and EDM at times. So if Drake can play in those spaces, why can other artists do the same into the country space?
And by the way, it's good for country. Like I can't remember the last time that society worldwide has talked about what country music is.
I'm like, finally.
Right. Like this is a moment. Like thank God we're talking about what makes country music.
Yeah.
After how long of just like country being sort of isolated in its own kind of silo.
But look who's talking about it, right? Justin Bieber, Reba McEntire, Tom Brady. Like
Yes.
that motley crew alone tells you that this touched a lot of people.
Right.
My mother-in-law called me about this song, and we don't normally talk about music.
Yes.
So the fact that this song
Good
touched
taste.
so many people,
Yes.
relax.
Your mom.
Sarah's getting really excited here.
She has great taste. The fact that this touched so many people let me know that country music, this was an opportunity, and I think they let it slip.
So let me give you each a chance to have a final thought on this. And I mean, why do we care whether Billboard thinks this is a country song or not? I mean, why does this matter?
I think there are last sort of vestiges of authority of places that try to control these categories. The Grammys being one, the Oscars being another, and the Billboards being another one. These are, institutions that have been around for a long time, and they are the ones who've been determining what is and what isn't country music, or what is or what isn't, pop. And those institutions are being a little bit threatened, I think, by the democratization of information and content. And so we're taking up this fight not just because this song, it's a fun song, but it's because it represents, I think, something bigger.
I mean, as a black consumer of music, I care because I don't like the way the history of blacks has been really washed away in country, the way it has to a lesser extent in rock and roll, but we still celebrate people like Jimi Hendrix to keep that history together. Music is one of the only places in our society which is so divisive at the best of times where there are no borders, where I can watch a YouTube clip, people in Japan right now singing Drake lyrics, making references about Canada. That's the best part of music.
Yes.
And country and hip hop and R&B, when you actually dial them down, they're not that dissimilar. And so as people, I think we are more alike oftentimes than we are different. Music is the best way to tell that story. And I think the country music artists and society should help tell the story as well.
Sarah,
And
you
I
get
love
the
that
last
especially because what is country music if not about storytelling? And same with rap and hip hop, right? It's all about talking about a certain experience, reflecting our society back to us. And I think that this story became a big story because of the socio-political times we're in as well, not to mention just internet democratization and our economy is changing so quickly. But, if we didn't have, Donald Trump in the White House and who, therein was elected by a lot of white people and like there's a lot of reflections back for why people have such issues with the country establishment, country music establishment too. Like having a black man come in from the outside and really make a huge impact in a hugely white space is a story of our times right now. It's about polarization, it's about racial injustice and tensions therein. And I think it's really, fascinating. And I'm interested to see how it shakes out. But in the meantime, I will just be like on repeat until it gets too old for me.
We know it's on your playlist. Yeah. Do we have time to talk about Game of Thrones? Is that
You can. Go for it.
All the time.
I don't think we have time.
Off air.
Yeah, that'll be for the next panel. Guys, thanks so much.
Thanks
Pleasure.
for having us.